Hi all, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to understand what is exist transformation in mapping data flow in Azure Data Factory. So if you have seen the previous sessions, I have covered most of the transformations, not most of the transformation, like if we can see in the Azure Data Factory, right? We have lots of, if we talk about the data flow. So if you wanted to move or transform the data before loading into the destination. So and if we need to modify some kind of the data, or if we have to join it, or we have to transform the data, so in that case we use the data flow, and data flow will be run with the help of the pipelines. So in the series where we have understood the union transformation, okay, we have understood uh, this joint transformation, conditional split, union, and lookup. So today we will going to understand what is the exist transformation in Azure Data Factory if you wanted to do some kind of the transformation. So if you it's a very good article given by the Microsoft. If you go and the definition says that it is a row filtering transformation. That means it will filter out the rows, okay, that checks whether your data exists in the another stream or the source. The output include all the rows in the left stream that either exist or don't exist in the right stream. So it is basically similar to the SQL where exist or SQL where not exist. Okay, so if you have a requirement where you have two tables or two streams, okay, source streams, left streams or the right stream. If you can see in my screen, this is nothing but a left stream employee data, and this is the right stream. Okay, so if you have a requirement where you wanted to only move only those records from the employee data which exist in the employee data, all those record which does not exist, all those records of the employee data which does not exist in the employee details, you wanted to drop it off. Okay, in such scenario you can use the exist transformation. Okay, so what let's go to the practical demo. I have the storage account. Okay, let me open the storage account. What we are going to do, we have two tables, okay, sorry, two files, cust data and custody details. Go to the container. So this is what I have opened is the Azure Blob storage. Okay, and here inside that I have an input container. In the input container I have two files, cust data and cust details.csv. Okay, if I open it to show you the content of this file, the content would be look like this. So we have, if you see, we have two records, okay, 102, 103, Surya, Mumbai, Chennai. So we have two records here. And if you go to the customer details.csv and see the records, okay, here, go to the edit, click on preview. Here also you can see three records, but one record 102 with Surya customer name is common between these two tables. So what I wanted to only pass on only those records from the cust data which belongs to the which exists in the cust details. Okay, other records, okay, other records should be dropped off. Okay, so it will, what it is say, that it's a row filtering transformation. That means we are filtering down the rows. We are not pushing all the rows. Okay, we are filter down the rows which with the conditions that if the data exists in another source or not. Okay, so output would be it includes all the rows in the left stream that either exist or don't exist in the right stream. So it will include all the rows. Okay, from the left table it will include all the rows that exist or don't exist in the right stream. So I hope the definition is very much clear, so you will understand it. So what I'm going to do, I'll create a new data flow. Okay, let me click a new data flow here to show you with the practical demo, and let me give this name as a nicer name, data flow, and we are learning it for exist transformation. So I have given this as a data flow name, exist transformation. Okay, so that is fine. Now I need to put the source. So for source I need to give this as a, let me give this name as a what do you call, cust data. Okay, because my file is cust data. So you have to set the data sets. So if you don't have a data set, just go and create a data sets. Because the data store is nothing, it is residing in the blob storage, so I choose the blob storage as my data store. The file, the format is delimited text csv file, and here you can give a nicer name. So I'll give as a data set for the cust data. Okay, it is already there. Let me like this, link service, I have already created a link service which is connected to my blob storage. So that is fine. Now you have to give your path, give the path of your file. So this is my file. Click on this. Yes, this file is containing a header, so I click on this. Now click on OK. So this will create a data set for my source, first source, which will act as my left string source, okay, for my exist transformation. So everything is fine. Now click on the second source, and second source, let me give name as customer details here, and data is not there, so create a new data set quickly for this, and this would be data set cust details, okay, and blob storage, link service is a blob storage. Now give the path, exact path of your file which you wanted to consume, that is cust details. And yes, my file is having a header, so click on this. I wanted to import schema from the file, so I have chosen that option also. So here if you can see, I keep it all, everything is simple. I'm not choosing go ahead and choose everything. If you wanted to preview the data, right, if you wanted to, everything is fine. So what you go, once you choose it, all the settings corresponds to this source will be visible here. So if you see, we have a data preview, but to use the data preview, what it is saying, please turn on the debug mode and wait until the cluster is ready to preview the data. So what we need to do in the case of the data flow, if you wanted to preview the data, you have to open your cluster, you have to turn on your, you have to create your cluster. So one cluster with a session ID, cluster will be ready with one session ID. Once it has been done, then you will be able to preview your data. Okay, so we have turned on the created the cluster ID. If you see, the new cluster ID with this session ID has been created, and the moment the cluster has been ready, you can see these are the options you can see. Now what you have to do, you have to just refresh it to get the data loaded in the preview data preview section. Just wait for a couple of seconds, it will be loaded. Oh, it is saying please wait for all the data type and detections and data preview operations to complete. So it's not been done. Just wait for a second. Once it is done, then this red icons will be gone. Okay. See, it has been done, and now it is giving me a hand icon. So that means I can do it, and see it is fetching the data. Okay, so it took a little few seconds. Okay, sometimes depends on the machine, it took 1 minute as well to turn on the cluster. So if you can see, the source customer details is having a 3 records over here, and if you wanted to see the preview of this data, so I got the 2 records over here. So that is fine. So what we have set up our sources. Now what we need to do, we need to move only those all the records from the left stream, but only the rows from the right stream which is matched. Okay, so what we need to do, click on this plus icon, and here you can see you have to filter down. Okay, so you have to check the existence of the records. So for that, click on existence, and as soon as you click on this, you can see here exist settings, optimize, inspect, and data preview. These are the setting options we have which has been given to us. So if you see, the output stream name is exist one, so exist customer, only if exist customer, like you can say only if exist customers. Left stream, it is already taken is as a source custody data, and right stream, we have only one stream here as a right stream, so that's why it is giving it here. If you have multiple sources, okay, if you click on the canvas, and you can see here is the add sources. So if you have a multiple sources here, in that case, what you get, you can get a number of right streams options over here, but in my case only one sources is present, so I can choose this. So it will be considered as a left stream, it will be considered as a right stream. Now if you can see, it has given you a very graphical representation of the existence and don't exist. So what I wanted to know, I wanted to choose, if you wanted to choose the exist, whatever the data we have in the it exists in the customer details table, or you wanted to choose no, doesn't exist. So which kind of the customer you wanted to pass on to the next activity, those customer which exist or those customer which does not exist. So if you have a requirement which says that you wanted to pass on only the existed customers, so choose this one. Okay. And if you have some kind of a custom expression, you can choose it and write your expressions, but I'll keep it as simple for because we have intention to understand the logic first. So here you have to select the column on which column, on the basis of which column you wanted to check the existence of the customer. Okay. So the left hand stream I wanted to use the ID, and in the right hand stream I wanted to use an ID. Okay. So id, if you see abc, you can see abc, that means this is nothing but a string in both the streams. Okay. If you wanted to change it into the integer, you can change it into your left and right stream. How you can do it? You can go to the left stream and you can projection, go to the projection. Here you can change your type. Okay, data type. Here you can see in the left stream id is taken as a string. So what you can do, you can choose it as an integer. So that is fine. Okay. And here for optimization, you can use as a single partition because we have very small file. Now choose the second right stream source, and here also you can change the data type of your id. That is here in case by default it is taken as a string. From the csv file you can change it as an integer, and in case of optimization you make it as a single partition. Setting has been done. Now if you check in the exist customer, here if you can see, here you can see the data type is 123. Earlier it was taking as a 1 abc. So here it is a decimal. So this way, if you wanted to see, you wanted to optimize for optimization purpose, use the single partition when you have a small file and do not need a partition to perform your task. So in that case, use a single partition. Just inspect the data types and the number of what do you call the columns. So we have a 3 columns and we have this data types, and which column is used as an exist transformation. So this column is a ticked. So that means this column, that means id column in both the tables is been used as a exist. So if you wanted to data preview this, so you have to click on refresh. So we will see how this if exist will work in the in data preview section. Okay, here you can see we got only one record. Okay, 102. So that means Surya from the Mumbai, because what did it say? It says the data coming from the left stream which belongs to the customer detail. So we have only one record which exists in this cust detail and which exists in the cust data. So it is presenting only, it is giving us as an output only one record. So if you wanted to load this existed customer, okay, only so what you can do, you can create a sync. Okay. And whatever you can do, you can just load this existed customer in your destination, or if you wanted to do some kind of transformation on top of it, you can do that as well. Okay. And if you wanted to only load the existing customer, suppose this table is act as a master table, you and this table is coming on daily basis from the customers one type something kind like, and you wanted to check only those customers should be moved to my database if it exists in my master table. So this way you can use the exist transformation and check for the existence of the customers, and then you can move it to your destination. Okay. So destination could be Azure Blob Storage, it could be Azure SQL database. So in a lot of my earlier session, I have shown you how you can configure your sync database. So here you can just provide your if you selected this, okay, you have to create a data set which will move to your output folder. So if you want, I can show you. In our case, we will load this existed customer only in my Azure Blob Storage. So exist customer suppose, and link service is my blob storage. File is a row header, and I wanted to load this data, put this data in my output directory. So click on OK and click on OK. So this is the data set which has been created. So that means I wanted to load my data existed customer into this location, and everything is fine. Optimize, we can use it as a single partition and everything is fine. If you wanted to preview data in the destination side, you can check which how many records which is existing and which customers is loading into your destination. So see, one record will be loaded into my destination. Now everything is fine. Now what we need to do, we need to run this pipeline to see whether actually it is working fine in the real time or not. So what we need to do, because we cannot run it right, so we have to publish it, and then we have to call our data flow inside our pipeline. So let it be published, and once it is publishing completed, what we need to do, we need to create one pipeline. Okay, and that pipeline is for checking, we'll give a name as pl exist, because we are working for exist clause to understand the exist clause. Now the pipeline has been there. Now what we need to do is we go to the data flow, and whatever the data flow we have created, just drag and drop into the canvas of pipeline, and here we can validate your pipeline, as we are not passing any parameter from the pipeline, so everything is fine. And now you can debug it. So the moment you debug it, you give a instruction to the pipeline to run your data flow inside it. So once the data flow inside, you can see it is running. Wanted, you can refresh it. Whenever you hit the command, there is a one unique pipeline run ID will be created. See, it got succeeded. That means our data flow is succeeded. If you wanted to check the status, you can see I mean graphical representation of your thing that you can see here. Okay, so it is saying if you select the source, rows calculated, 2 rows were there, only the one partition, and it took only 1 seconds to do it. And so three rows is there in the right stream source. Total partition is 1. And here is a exist clause. If you see, only row calculated, which after the exist, it got only 1 rows is taken as a it's calculated only 1 rows which need to be sent to the destination. Total partition is only 1 because we have used a single partition. And you can see in the stream information, sync processing time, it took 2 seconds 540 milliseconds to process your data and load it into your destination table. Row calculated 1 row, total partition 1. Okay, so this is the graphical representation by which you can get the timings, like how much time it takes to do this. Now if you wanted to see actual data, where the data has been loaded, you have to go to your blob storage. Okay, here we have input and output, so go to the output folder and see whether the data has been loaded or not. So here if you can see, today is 12th, right? So this file is being created, so just open it, click on it, and click on edit to see. See, only one record has been created. If you see, it's been after the if exist clause, exist transformation, we can see only the one customer, that is Surya customer, is the customer which belongs to the details tables as file as well. So that way you can use the exist transformation to perform your, to work in your project as per the requirement. So hope you understood the logic of exist transformation in mapping data flow in Azure Data Factory instance. In case if you have any doubt, please feel free to write me in the comment box. Till the time, happy learning guys. Bye bye.